All right. Give it a minute for people to show. Howdy. Why does this page have no scroll bar? This makes no sense. Stupid Twitch. See, look, I can't see what's below here because, I can, it's this thing, right? Frack. So dumb. The invisible scroll bar that only appears when you mouse over the thing, so you don't know that you have a scroll bar. Really dumb. All right. So let's go into our to-do because we have a whole new to-do. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you don't. So, first of all, there is a bug in the new generator stuff that I wrote. Was that in 31 that I rewrote that whole system? I didn't make note of it anywhere here, so it must have been. Or have I lost count? Was there a 32 already? No, I don't think so. I think there was only a 31. It's a month ago, though. Have I lost count? Oh, sorry. So anyway, at some point I did rewrote the multi-threaded terrain building stuff, just the threading part of it, and made it much simpler and stabler, and there's a bug in it. Then, because I started noticing performance issues and was running into memory issues, I really want to write a real performance monitor and write a real memory monitor. Like, this is clearly a substantial enough app that I need those things. But before I do any of those things, we're going to do a little administrivia. We're going to write tool to parse Meeblo, is that how it's spelled? Yeah, Meeblo's annotations, and generate YouTube formatted info, because there's an annotation thing on Handmade Network, a little page where you can get annotated videos of OBPG. I don't actually remember, is this up or is that just that's only Handmade that's up? But he's agreed to let me post those annotations into the YouTube posts as well, so that people who just find it on YouTube do have that data at their fingertips. And he's notating it in his own file format. That's a little text file format. So I just need to write a parser that converts it, and then I'll manually upload them. I'm not going to bother automating that. And he's the first episode is up because he converted it himself by hand. And then we're gonna he's got another 7 episodes, I guess, or 6 episodes after the first, because he was just starting to do episode 8 and decided to come watch instead. And I think that's all I really need to say about that. So let's go ahead and get started. I hope this will go quick. This is a kind of little tiny app that I can usually knock out pretty fast, so we'll see. The only thing is I don't actually know the specifications, so quick, which is how I write all of my things, as I've talked about in there's a YouTube video where I talk about that. So we're going to make a quick app. We don't need Windows in it. All right, so now I need to go bring up my mail and extract all those annotations and put them somewhere. Let's search for annotations. There. Handmade markup language, is that what HMML stands for? So let's save these out to Sean Purge Games OBBG, and then we'll make a video or annotations. Yeah, let's call it annotations. All right, so I'm not going to save them all out right now. Why did that save attachment as not? Why is that doing nothing? Is that because I have it on the second monitor? It doesn't work on the second monitor? No, it just doesn't work. That's interesting. I have to open it and then save it. All right. And it doesn't remember my previous thing. Darn it. Purge Games OBBG annotations. Copy paste buffer so I can do it fast. It's very odd that I can't save attachment. I'll save as. Okay, I hope that's pretty streamlined. Okay. Maybe I'll just do them all. This isn't going to take long. And they're split into multiple files. When the episode was split into multiple files, so they just match one-to-one, which is nice, convenient. Thank you. I mean, I guess you need it for your own version, but it's all perfectly reasonable. Wait, was there two? Did I forget to save the second one? Yep. All right, we're on to 6, and it only goes up to 7, I think, or 8. No, it goes up to 8. Just got 8 today or yesterday. No, it just got 7 yesterday. Okay, right. All right, so there we go. That's the last one. Boom. There we go. Take a look there. Okay, looking good. Now, I want to go find what the YouTube format is, which is not in my inbox. I have to search elsewhere. And I might put that in maybe Silver Spaceship, probably. Oh, yeah, great. Yep. Okay. Just emailed episode 10. Hey, wait, I thought you killed your stream where you were in the middle of annotating it. How could you have sent it now? I guess you had happened to be just finishing? I don't know. All right, I assume that spacing isn't necessary. All right, so in this example, all we have are plain text, which these get auto-converted, the timestamps get auto-converted, and an explicit link. So we'll have to see what we can do. I don't know if the YouTube format is documented anywhere. If anyone wants to research that while I'm writing code, they can. And so let's go ahead and pick a later one. Let's see what we have examples of. Okay, so there's messages to people. And then let's look at, what's the longest one? Oh, 6-1. Like, I might skip the messages between people. Like, I'm not sure what, are those quotables, or are those considered part of the, yeah, okay, what's that, loud thumping? Maybe, is that because I answered that question out loud in the thing, and therefore it got included to flag it? Like, is that maybe the timestamp is actually when I answered it? Since Meeblo's in the chat, I would just go look that up on YouTube and find out. But since he's in the chat, he can just tell me. So I'll just wait for that. Video title, we can ignore. Okay, so how do we do this? Well, it's very simple. We're going to do it by the seat of our pants, but we're just going to take a file name rather than standard in. And so if RC to, we'll fix this usage in a second. So usage, what is this program going to be called? It's going not hard-coded to OBBG. So it is HMML to YouTube, which is a lot to type. If you had to run this a lot, it would be annoying. And it will be, sure, we'll take multiple files. Why not? Or do people use brackets for this? I forget. Used to bracket being optional, right? So you don't want to call it a bracket. Angle brackets? What do people usually use to indicate that? I don't remember. Okay, so we'll do this. Yeah. I'm going to say stb string file of argv of I num lines. If file equals null, read. That. All right. And if we did read the file, we can start parsing it. Now we need to know what the syntax looks like. So, first token, it's always square bracketed. It has a video begin and end block. Timestamp is when you reply to them. Okay, great. Well, then I'll go ahead and try to mark that up explicitly then. And then sometimes though there are, oh, that's just because he embedded it in the thing. I think I'll try to actually delete that because we don't care. Although if I'm trying to make this general purpose, I don't know which name. I guess you can just delete it. Ooh, nested. But I just don't care. I can, oh, I do care. I'd have to strip that down. Okay, so this is the syntax where that's the, I see. So you can just substitute that for the whole thing. Okay, I can do that. It won't nest arbitrarily. That's only nested to one nesting. Okay, so P is a thing I use for strings a lot. I don't know why. What pointer, I guess. It's like just an old habit from 20 years of use or whatever. I don't even know what it means anymore. So obviously this is file J. So if P starts with that, let's go ahead and strip white space. It doesn't have any for those, but I don't know if that's really part of the syntax. Like, is that a legal file? Like, I don't know. I haven't looked at a spec of this at all, so it can't hurt to skip it if it's required. It matters for these. You would want to know about it, but at the moment, I'm just going to check whether it starts with a square bracket, which maybe that's not legit. Maybe you could have a thing that wraps and starts with a square bracket, so maybe I shouldn't do that. Yeah, so that is white space part of the thing? That's the question that needs answering. Yes, you need to do the rendering yourself with the thing. There is a sample app that is very complicated called KView in the GitHub. It's probably in the tests subdirectory, but it's very complicated and does a lot. That's because it was designed to be used in complicated situations, and so using it is kind of complicated. And I didn't do the work to make it easy to use for easy situations because I'm not sure it's that interesting for that, except for trying to learn to use it where, yeah, maybe it would be helpful. But yeah, you absolutely have to do the rendering yourself. It really just does a part that's difficult to make performant, which is converting the 3D voxel grid to polygons. So assuming it is a curly brace, then we do that. Otherwise, it better be continuing from the previous line. Like, parsing this as lines may not be the right thing to do depending on how white space matter. Yeah, white space and new lines are totally unimportant and can be skipped. All right, well, let's not do it wrong then. Let's go ahead and load it as a single thing and parse it properly then. Actually, we just don't need the numchars at all. Let's write a proper parser. I mean, the thing is, you could also, if you guaranteed that when you make them, you are always going to use this kind of new line format, then you could kind of make that part of the format. It does make it easier to write a parser because your parser can be line-based, but I'm totally cool with treating it more like an HTML-ish kind of thing, because that's clearly like what it's doing with the slash video structure here. What is this tag here? Is this like tags for categories or something? Is that what the colon is? I can just drop? Yeah, probably. Yeah. The timestamp must be the first tag on its line. Okay, but then lines do matter. Oh, I see. You said between tags are totally important. Okay, well, if they do have to be the first on the line, then we can use the line-based thing. Although it might still be simpler to not use the line-based thing because when they continue across multiple lines, it's going to be messy. So let's go ahead and write it without the line-based thing. So we'll just call this P. And you can see the different, I'm just giving you a little illustration of the different strategies for parsing that you can do in C. Because C is really easy to do parsing because this whole metaphor of the pointer that walks forward through the string just is exactly what you want for most simple parsing. So, so what we can do is P equals skip white P. We'll do that right before that test and right at the end because we always can ignore white space, except that we need to know about new lines, so we need a special version of skip white. It doesn't skip new lines, so we have to do this. And I'll just do it with a quick and dirty version and not worry about all the extended Unicode things. Oops. Yeah, it's sort of the worst of both worlds to have white space sometimes and sometimes not. The new lines matter sometimes and not, because it does make parsing actually harder, but it's okay. It won't be a problem. I'm not proposing you should change it. Just advice for the future. Okay, so what kind of tags can we have at sort of global scope, which is what this parser is. So we can have the video tags, we can have these tags, we can have these tags that come after. Okay, but yeah, we'll make those always be. Okay, and so we can get case new line. Are the most important things at the moment in what's in here. And maybe there's other stuff. So we'll default. Be fatal. This is a temporary thing. Failed to parse. Token at asterisk file. Let's just do this. And how do we get our line count? We say line count file comma p. It's a little trick so you don't have to count the lines as you go. Line count char asterisk file char asterisk p. While p is less than file. If star p equals r or star p equals n. So we want to handle both character return and line feed because I always handle both. Then we want to skip past it, so we add 1. But if it's character return and a line feed together, we want to skip 2 characters because we don't want to count those independently. And so what we handle is we handle both \r, \n, or \n and \r, and we do that because if it's an r and then an n, or an n and then an r, the sum of both of them has to equal the sum of that. We don't have to handle the 2 cases separately. So that's a little trick that I've been doing for a while. And then we add 1 to the line. Otherwise, we skip the character. Okay, so that's our line count. And that will allow that to print correctly. Okay, great. So, at new line equals true. I don't think this is in STB. I don't think it is. Let's check. It's true at the start. Forgot to return P. No, okay, it's not. So we gotta just use ints. Just fine for a little quick and dirty thing. All right, what do we got here? That's true. Otherwise, all right. And actually, since this is a Boolean, and I'm going to add it, I'm going to actually make that explicit. That's something I've switched to these days. I try to use null, not 0. And if I have a Boolean, I try to be explicit about converting it to 1 and 0 rather than treating the Booleans as 0 and 1. Never mind the fact that I'm treating the Booleans as 0 and 1 because there's no Booleans in C pre-99. All right, so so if we're at new line, then presumably that's the only place where the timestamp tags can appear, is what Meblo said, but presumably the video tag also is required to be at the new lines, I'm going to assume. Otherwise, it's just a crazy thing. So if star p is slash, then it's close tag. Now, if we really want to fully handle nesting, you need like some kind of nesting stack or something, but the nesting here is very limited, so I'm just going to hand code everything. Else, if is digit star p, is it always a digit? Can it start with a colon? No, the colons are the tags, that's right. Okay. If is digit star p. So what you're going to see here is that I'm going to test for a bunch of cases if it's at the new line. But there's really no reason for me to require it to be at the new line because this parser doesn't care at this point. So like, it's going to, the at new line restriction of the file format doesn't help this kind of parser. It helps you doing a line by line parser, but as soon as the tags can cross multiple lines, the line by line parser gets actually a little more annoying, the way I was originally writing it with the lines. Is null ever not zero? Well, there's two different meanings of null being zero. So the constant zero in C is always promoted to null. There's a pound defined null of zero. In a pointer context, constant zero is always null. It's the symbol you use to do it. It doesn't mean that the code in memory is all zeros. Like, that's a separate issue. So, is null ever not zero? If I reverse that question to is zero never not null, if the zero is not constant, then it's not necessarily null. And then, yes, once upon a time there were platforms where null was not necessarily zero. I'm not sure if they were ever anything other than theoretical, and there are no practical modern platforms where they're not. And so you can do things like memset, which is not using a constant zero. If you memset some memory, right, that does set it to null on every platform anyone cares about. But it is not a legitimate way to set it to null. It's not a correct way, and you might run into lint-like programs that would complain about it, static analyzers or whatever. All right, so close tag, timestamp, and if is alpha. Open tag. Okay, we're going to guess that those are the cases. Like I said, technically the spec that I have, only this one lives inside @Lunine, according to Meeblo's official thing. Stackman0, he's writing a parser. Oh, yeah, right. Okay. I misread as a and started to worry that someone else was writing a parser. Let's see. So, yeah, I hit this. And I meant to copy the to-do. Oh, I don't even have that. Where's the to-do? There we go. I want to put that in the other file and leave that up. To-do. All right. So, and then we can fall through and handle all the other cases here, including the ones. So we won't have an else tag here, an else case here. Let's go ahead and just put that inside so we don't have to worry about cleaning it up later. So, and then here we'll handle other cases. So if the other cases appear at a new line, we'll fall through and handle them here. Which means if you do parse the thing, you have to get out of this, which I guess we could just use break. So just to make it clear that we have to do that. Okay, so so if we get a timestamp, are these exactly the YouTube format? Where's my YouTube one? We don't have a 1 hour thing, so I don't know if the 1 hour format is the same, but I'm going to assume it is. So I just want to copy that data. So I'm not going to parse it into memory and then write out the new thing. Like, I'm not going to try and make a memory representation of this data. That would be a clean thing to do. It would let you, it's a sort of a proper compiler that generates an abstract syntax tree kind of thing. But since we're trying to write a converter, not a parser, not an abstract library or whatever. I'm just trying to convert from format to A to format B. I'm just going to write out format B here. So what we do is while P does not equal close, then we write it out. So we put jar P plus plus. And then we will print F, a couple spaces. Okay, right, except I have to output this to a different thing. So file G. So the thing is, I always use F and G as my files. And in this particular case, since I've loaded a file but it's not an F file, I'm going to pretend that F is used here and use G here. So F open. So we need to create a new thing and rather than trying to strip the HTML off the end, that's extra work, I'm just going to append txt to it. So it will output foo.html.txt. And that makes it really easy for me to write this like that. STB_sprintf is just something that has a static like 4K buffer or something. And so you can only have one of them going and it's not thread safe. But hey, it does exactly what you want in a lot of cases. And then this has to be right binary. So then this all is fputc, which takes g at the end, fprintf takes g at the beginning. Did you forget to change the STB skip white? I'm sure I did. Yes, you're correct. Thank you. Okay. And at this point, we have not pushed P past the close brace, so that pushes it past the close brace. And just to make that explicit, do that, even though it's pretty much forced by that. What happens if it runs out? We're writing a crappy app that will crash horribly if it's formatted wrong, because I'm not trying to write a validator. If I were trying to write a serious app that, like, you know, parsed it into memory and served as a library, I would put in error checking. But for this purpose, I don't think it's necessary. I could be wrong. Okay, so open tag. If string comp, I have something called STB prefix, and I never use it. Let's use it. STB prefix. Which one is which? Ha! Great. Thanks, Sean. T, we check for T to run out. Oh wait, it's, yeah, we check for T to run out. So T, so it's the thing and the thing you're searching for. So it's the same order as searcher, which makes sense. I just didn't trust myself. So we want to say that. Although it could have white space probably. So this is technically not a valid way to check that. So like the right way to do this actually is to find the closing curly brace, extract the token from inside, closing square brace, extract the token from inside, and in fact we're going to need to do that for the ref. We're going to need to do that for ref. Going to need to do a real HTML style token parser. However, that's nested inside another one. And like I said, I'm not writing a recursive parser or with a stack or whatever. So that's actually going to be a different parse loop. So it looks like these ones never have, the top level ones never have that kind of parsing, because the top level ones can just be free text. And it's only once they nest another level, I think. But he might not do that consistently. It might turn out that's not true. What is that tag? 07. Oh, that is the comment from somebody that I must have reacted to. They said 07, so it must be something in the code that there's something called 07. What are we programming here? Yes. It does not look like I'm working on voxels. That is true. All right, so we'll see. You know, if it turns out I don't parse the stuff correctly, I'll fix it. It's not a problem. So, oh right, it doesn't end with video. That's right. The video tag has that stuff. Yep. The video tag does need that parsing. Okay, all right, so we have to write one of these little parsers. So we'll go ahead and rewrite all that to work that way. So the first thing we do is we say here, we go tokenize, well, except we don't want to do it. We don't want to waste our time tokenizing that, right? There's no value to tokenizing that. So I guess we do only want to do this on certain types of tags. Okay, that is actually very weird. Like, what if the first word of the comment is video? Like, this syntax doesn't actually seem to be properly delimited. So it must be that the new line is required for the video tag. Otherwise, you would never be able to distinguish. And then these must be required to not be on new lines. So, okay. Okay, so if it's on a new line, then we want to do that parse. Okay, if it's not on a new line, we don't want to do that parse, but we do want to do it nested deeper in that parse. Pretty complicated. Okay, so if it's at a new line, then we were going to say p equals, we're going to do it this way. We're going to say parse bracket token bracket, what do you call these in HTML? Tags. Parse tag. We take p and we update p, and then we get token list back, and that'll be an stb array. And yeah, then we clear the new line. Okay, so let's go ahead and write that. Parse tag p pointer. Okay. Now, what are we doing here? Can I leave this highlighted? Or when I tab away, will it hide it? Oh, okay, good. All right. Oh, crazy people. I don't know why all these people are coming in. Nothing wrong with you, crazy people. I'm not criticizing you at all. Just don't know why you're coming. All right, let's see. Sure, Miblo. The question, though, is that, like, the moment you've introduced the video and the /video tag, you've kind of implied a potential space in this file format of tags like that. And the question is, can those only appear at the top level? Like, or is there something else going on? So if those tags can only appear at the top level and the tags within are always only colon format or something like that, then that's okay, although it's going to make this parser, doing this parser correctly will be a little bit more complicated, because basically we need lots of nested parsing loops, which is where I'm currently headed anyway. The point here is we'll write the parse tag stuff once and just be able to reuse it from different places, and it's not going to parse the sub tags within it. It's just parsing the top level tag. So it has to count internal curly braces. So, and brace count equals 1. So let's say right here we go brace count. We'll just do it like this to be explicit, because that's how it's going to look elsewhere. So so these tokens are what? White space separated? Whoops, wrong one. White space separated, and then they can have quotes inside, or they can have brackets inside for... No, maybe they don't ever have brackets inside as parse boundaries. But they can have brackets inside, potentially. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe they can never have brackets inside. Maybe inside the quotes, obviously, but... Okay, so then we don't have to worry about that. The parsable ones, maybe it can never have the curly braces inside except inside strings. That would simplify our life if that's true. So we start a token. And then that one I do want STB skip white. I can skip new lines in this. And then, well, it's called is white is space. That's what the C version of this is. So, well, it's not space, and star P is not that. That's just the space of a token. Okay, and then if star P equals that, or star P equals that, we'll assume that that's, I don't actually need to backslash, just skip that one. We'll assume that you also allow single double quotes the same as HTML. Although maybe you don't, because then if you have a contraction, you'd have to actually escape it. So maybe you don't actually support both. But I don't have any contractions in mine, so I can't tell. Is there a format document that I can actually look at? Okay, all the other tags are single tags. You're never going to have anything other than video/video, and that can only be at the beginning and end. All right, I'll take your word for it. I still need this function anyway, because I'm going to need to do this in multiple places. So yeah, I don't know whether that's true or not. I don't have any examples of it, so I'm going to not do it for now. So if that's the case, then we need a buffer that we're writing this all into. So we'll call that output. We have to initialize that to null because we're going to use stb arrays for it. stb how does that? What is this? How does this work? Oh yeah, rpush. Output star P. Can I go plus plus? I think I can. This is a macro that expands to amazing monstrosity. But I believe it only evaluates this argument once. It evaluates this argument many, many, many times, but this one only once. And then we say, well, star P does not equal quote. Copy. And then we copy that last one. And if it hits null in the middle of this, we crash, and that's fine. Okay, well, can you guarantee that it's only ever double quotes in the tags? It's never single quotes? Because HTML has both. I mean, I can handle both pretty easily. I just have to look for the same one. And then just have to add this right here. It's just that you have to be careful about, I guess that's safe. I guess there's no reason not to do this. If you don't support it, it would never get fired. Okay. He does use single quotes sometimes. So I think that's correct. So all this block of code is doing is a straight copy of the data that's bracketed by whichever of these tokens. And it just needs the extra ones to copy the beginning and end quotes into the output because at the moment I'm splitting. Where's the file? Because at the moment what I'm doing is just parsing. Oh wait. Oh God, you use new lines to separate these. And you use spaces to separate these. Okay. This would be easier if it was just XML, because it would be consistent. Okay, so let's see how long this function is, whether it's going to be easier to reuse to make it support both modes, or whether it's going to be easier to cut and paste it and have it exist twice. Okay, but anyway, so what I was going to say is I'm just outputting this. I'm not trying to split it into two pieces yet. This step just makes that a token, makes that a token, makes that a token. And then we'll go through it and split it into the assignment things. And so once I split into the assignment things, I can get rid of the quotes. But at the moment, I don't want to get rid of the quotes. Okay. Being consistent is overrated since you'll success parsing it anyway. Well, it's just going to make this take a lot longer. I mean, not, twice as long or something like that, just because it's basically multiple different syntaxes. Here's the new one. Wait, I only got 2. I only got part 2. I didn't get part 1, unless you already sent me part 1. Or it's labeled part 2, but no, yeah. I got part 2 and I didn't get part 1. Yeah, they could do it all in one line if they wanted. Okay. So, and if they did it all on one line, they would have to be in quotes. So it just means that there's this ambiguity in the format. When you get to this space right here, you don't know whether it's going to be all the way to the end of the line or whether this is the beginning of a new token type. So like you either have to at this point compare it against page or say, well, it started a new line, therefore it's always a full line or something like that, which is probably what you're intending. That it's only on its own line if it starts with a new line. So that means we have to go in here and again, we can't use std skip white. We do have to go back to using skip white. And then we have to say new line equals 0 or equals 1 or set a no. Well, it doesn't matter at the beginning. So yeah, you're never at the new line because right there you're at 0 because you parsed out the curly brackets and now you're not at the new line. So so here we have to do while do for. We want to skip the white space. Skip white p while p is a new line. Forgot my stars there. Well, it's a new line. And then you can have a white space following the new line. So white space doesn't affect the new line state. Okay. So we can just do an if at this point, and then p equals std skip white, which skips new lines. So now once we get to here, and we don't need to float. Okay, that was what I was worried about, was that I had to keep track of whether we had a new line or not, but if there were multiple character return line feeds. But skip some white space. If we see a new line, we are at the new line, etc. And as soon as we start parsing a token, we lose our at new line state. Okay, how does this work? We've skipped the white space, but we haven't skipped new line white space. So we need the same code here. You can't do it on the first one. It doesn't matter on the first one. Okay. So we come in here. We're going to just copy it. The idea is that we're just going to copy out. Let's get the raw form of this without worrying about that parsing. So we go until we find a space or a thing, and we copy out a token. Okay. Then we say our push to, we don't have this yet, tokens. So we're going to push onto the token list strup of O. We're going to SV array free O. That's just to make it simpler to free the tokens when we're done. Okay, so I probably need to quote the title, page URL, etc. Yeah, if this were like that, that would be much, much simpler. If you want to switch to that, I can fix up one file myself. Could probably write a tool to do that, because this is trying to be a moderately robust parser. A tool that just takes the existing files and does that to them can just be sort of hard-coded. I know what the possible tags are. So if it's too daunting to fix the current ones, but you're willing to do that to the future, I can do that myself. Or if you want to fix them up yourself, feel free. You can do that in parallel while I'm doing this, whatever. But I'll just fix one myself to do that. And that will, yes, that will make this all much simpler. I don't have to keep track of this new line state. Okay, so we can get rid of that code that we just started to add. So this is the naive form of what this is trying to do. But we have to account for we no longer have to account for the new lines, but we have to account for these things. So we have to put this in the form of the tokens that we're parsing. We just allow them to appear anywhere in the thing. In the reality, it's only ever going to appear after this equals. It's always going to be a simple token equals this error. And you could try to explicitly parse it that way. You could say parse up to the equal sign, etc. And I'm just trying to do something simpler, but maybe this isn't simpler. I don't know. So at that point, we have a token. We got to either space or that, so we just need to skip white. So we do go back to that. And of course, I don't put any of that in version control. So if he changes his mind again and says, no, wait, I need to leave it new lined, then we have to rewrite all that code. All right, he will fix them up. So I will do one. Let me know if you've already started. And if you haven't, I'll pick which one I'm going to do myself. Probably this one that I have open, 6.1. So you don't have to bother to do that one. And I can send it back to you, obviously. So we'll just do it by hand because I'm only doing one. It's very easy. Oops, that's not where the quote goes. That's very dumb. There we go. That doesn't technically need the quote because there's no white space in it. Yep, okay, and he's doing that. He's only doing it if it's got white space. Did I accidentally add that quote there just now, or is it missing? It might be a typo. It's supposed to be this. I think that's the case. Or maybe I deleted it myself. Okay, yes, this is much nicer. Now white space doesn't matter. Or not white space doesn't matter, but the details of the white space doesn't matter. Like HTML. Okay, so all right. So this logic is all very simple. And I just wanted to write it this way. Like I said, maybe the right thing to do is to actually do this parsing at the same time instead of doing them in two steps. I just wanted to get out what this parsing looked like and get my understanding of the format clear. And we did. We resolved this line break issue. So I believe this will handle this stuff. Probably what I want to do is, like I said, do this parsing inside here. Instead of doing it as a separate pass. But we'll just get this thing sort of limping with this parse tag in the current version, just so that we can debug that we're doing anything correctly. So, okay, so the argument was that the video thing only appears at the beginning and end. The end tag is kind of unambiguous, so I don't have to worry about it being on a new line. And since this has to be the first tag, you could explicitly test for, at first tag or something like that. And not worry about the new lines, except for the timestamps. The other thing is I could try to parse timestamps appearing in text, but it's possible that at some point the text is going to be a timestamp or something. Like, what if somebody types a timestamp in and I comment on it? It might actually appear in the middle. So we probably do want to explicitly distinguish the new line case. So we need to skip past that character. Okay, so close tag we haven't done yet. Okay, at the moment, the claim is it can only be video. So and if, you know, at some point the new token types get added or something, I'll have to fix this, and that's fine. And otherwise, we're done. So we fclose G, and we return 0. All right. So let's go ahead and make that explicit. Int at start equals 1. Thing at start. Fatal parse error unexpected video tag at. I could maybe write a new function that always automatically does the line thing instead of having to write this every time. So here we want tokens. Oh, we've already, right. We started to do that up here. Let's not do that here. Let's do that here. Oh, it's the timestamp. The timestamp doesn't want it ever, right? So we just want to do it here. Else. Oops, unexpected tag at 20. Okay, I've lost track of what am I even parsing at this point? What state am I in? I was at a new line, and I got a tag that wasn't a timestamp and wasn't /video. So inspect tag at start of line. That, okay. If, oh wait, I have to hit start here, okay. And then once we get by here, we don't have to start anymore. And like I said, I don't want to put too much of this stuff in. This is more going to catch bugs in my code than bugs in the file, most likely. Unexpected timestamp tag at start file. I'm not printing out which file it is. I'm supporting multiple files. File, it's argv. So let's go ahead and make that be our thing. All right, so so yeah, this may not be a very robust parser if there are typos like that, that missing quote that was here. This may break in badly. And if that turns out to be common, I'll go in and refine it. Okay, so at new line 0, blah, 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 blah. So we're mainly using the new line checking for sanity checking to make sure things are at new lines. Okay, so other cases. So whatever are other cases? Ref, no, that's nested. I can't get to that yet. Okay. Starts with an at. And it starts with a colon, right? Okay. So other cases. If p of 1 equals at. Annotate. Comment from user being replied to. Else if p of 1 is colon tag And does a tag just need to get stripped, or is it used as a word in the middle? No, that's just an explicit colon somewhere, I think. Didn't I see something like that where there was the tag was embedded in the text in some way? Once I imagine, yeah, okay, the lighting, yeah. So I just need to strip colons if they're after a space and before a character or something. Just strip them after space and see if that works. Oh, and they sometimes have the quotes that I want to strip too. Okay. All right, so so this is a tag strip it. Otherwise, we shouldn't be in the bracket case. Else must be fatal parse error at line presented with an S. Okay. And what else? What else do I need to do? And then we need the, if they're anything else, they're this stuff. They're just plain text, right? Okay. So that's not in the error at all. Okay. Parse. Where is the tag outside video block? I'll just make that the line explicit, although it's almost certainly going to be the first line. Line count LP. Let's not have a line coconut. Let's have a line count. All right. So let's just echo this text out while RP does not equal that. This is not, which is not going to be correct, but will get us, let us see what we've got. So f put c. RP. Okay. Talk about start PP corner. P. Oh no! All right, that was supposed to be the other way. There we go. Unexpected end of file. Does that mean I'm missing a curly brace? Oops. Parse tag must return a value. And then, did we ever use token list somewhere? Yeah, we parsed this tag. Okay. So, free token list. Free tokens, let's say. Void free tokens. What do I call this? R line? Wow, it's amazing it's been this long. Oh, it's free. Right, okay. All right, now let's run it and have it crash. So we want to go on purge games, OBG, Sean purge games. OBBG annotations, and then this file name, OBBG 0061. HMML. All right. So first, let's just try running it. I'm sure it won't work. Okay. And then let's actually try stepping through and seeing where we're getting, rather than trying to debug that. So let's go to here. And let's take a look at P. Yep, okay, looks good. Found a curly brace. We're at a new line. We find a video token. Try to parse it. Okay. We also have, is that a twiddle? This font is really bad for that. Yep, okay, it's a twiddle. I've emailed the 2 corrected files, so there were only 2 files with that problem. Yeah, in part 1, your computer wasn't really working. You were figuring out what was up with it. Wasn't sure if you wanted that to be annotated. I don't know what that's in reference to. Is there no part 1? Oh, that was the 8 part 1. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so we try to parse the tag. What do we do? Oh, okay. We had already skipped by it. That would do it. Okay, well, let's just make that not do that. Not gonna do that. Because we can always delete that assertion if that's bogus to do that. All right, so we're going to get to this. This is the last place we stepped. All right, so let's see what we parse out. We didn't push 0 on the end. Let's make that explicit, a null character. Video. Title equals that. That looks parsed correctly. Platform equals YouTube. Okay, that's right. ID equals etc. And then we found the closed curly brace. We didn't skip past it. We left it. So we won't fix that. All right. Now let's try running it and see if it just happens to work. Infinite loop. So yeah, so somebody isn't incrementing. Oh, right. I haven't handled these cases. Have to do something in these cases. So we'll just go to the end of the tag. Does that get output? Is there a text window? Yeah, there. Parse token at line 1. Okay, that's a lie. Because I know it got past line 1. Didn't it? So is my line count thing wrong? Line 1, return line PRPN. Yeah, it's, well, let's do it this way. Okay. Line 10. Oh, I just used the line numbers. 10. Okay, what do we got here? We have nested. Yes, so we're not, because we're not counting the nestings of the square brackets, it doesn't parse this correctly because it sees that and assumes that's the end of the token. So it needs to actually count the nestings. All right. Oops, in our file. All right, but we don't need to handle that in this case. We only need to handle it in this case. So int bracket brace count brace. Let's just nesting depth equals 1. And nesting or nesting greater than 1. All right. Is there a nested thing somewhere in this file? Or did I get this code wrong? We started nesting depth of 1 because we've already seen an open curly brace. I just wanted to do it that way to be clear. So we want to loop until it's we actually can do this. We can just do this. I don't think that will fix the bug here, though. Oh, now we hit a different path. Fill the parse token at line 3. All right. Okay, I must just have a bug there. Wait, why is that in the at case? I need it in this case. Nesting depth starts at 1. When we see the closed brace, oh, because we increment at the end again. Okay, so I need this down here. Okay, that should help fix that. Maybe. At line 2, we've gotten even worse. All right. Oh, it's while not equal 0. There we go. Okay. Back to 3. All right. All right, so 3 is that case. No, we didn't even reach that case. All right, so currently we're at line 2. Yep, okay, so let's go back around. Why is it not showing me P? Okay, here's P. We're currently about to see a timestamp. That doesn't seem right. Oh, a quote. Wait, why is there a quote before the timestamp? Oh no, that's just the debugger output. Okay. Why did we miss the new line? Because we did that. $74, yay! Yay, we got to the end of the file, and it didn't parse the video tag. So did we get to the video tag and fail, or what? Did our new line test for it fail? That's probably what happened. Okay, so for some reason the new line tag isn't being set when we get here. Let's see what the output looks like. It didn't get flushed, probably. So we could just disable the new line checking, but if we get a new line, we should always set the new line tag. So the only way we would fail to set the new line tag is if somewhere we increment without testing. It shouldn't happen inside these, but maybe it does. So we'll just do it to be on the safe side. Why am I skipping the first character? I think this will still fail in the same way, though. And since it's the end, it's a pain to step to it. All right, so I could make a dummy file that's got the video tag at the beginning. In fact, I can just modify this file to do it. Line 97? There is no line 97. What? 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 No, you don't have to worry about having screwed up the annotations, since this stuff will just break on the broken annotation. Then I'll look at the line and see that it's broken. It won't. This is a totally reasonable way of doing this stuff. If it were like crazy nesting, and then there could be crazy nesting failures, that would be a little harder. But this has to just be a bug. How could I miscount? How could line count miscount? Why is it? Oh, it's counting those lines, right? Yeah, that's right. Am I looking at the wrong file? No, okay. (153) is line 70. Line 71, close enough. Yeah, I'm about to increment it. Oh, P has walked way past the end of the file. P is off in garbage land, apparently. That would be one way that you could do it. All right, so apparently P just like went right by the end of the file. token starting at line 2. Okay, great. Okay, so yes, this nesting depth thing is still just totally broken. I don't know why. What am I missing? Why? How is this logic not correct? Nesting depth starts at 1 because I've already seen an open square brace. I haven't skipped past it. These are piece of 1, not piece of 0. All right, there we go. It's totally broken output, but there we go. All right, so when we get a timestamp, we'll go ahead and output a new line at the beginning, which is going to have a blank line at the beginning of the file, but I don't care. And let's just see what that is. I think I'm also accidentally copying out, the final thing. So we want to not copy it. It's a little redundant, whatever. Okay, and then let's get rid of that middle video tag and see if it's parsing it correctly now, the whole thing. Okay. Right, and so it's just passing these things through, so this is all what I'd expect. I thought if it was a colon, it was supposed to not output anything. Or is that embedded? That's the one that's embedded in the text. Okay, yeah. Here's some empty ones. That's not good. That might be there's tags without something or something. What line is that? That's empty. 13308. 3308. Right. The second one can start with an at, but that's no longer skippable. So that is a place where you're kind of contextual on having just seen the timestamp. Int after timestamp equals 0. And then where do we do the timestamp? It's right here. After timestamp equals 1. And now everyone else needs an after timestamp equals 0, but not those guys. Let's put it at the beginning consistently. All right. And so then these, if we get one of these, then, or we could try to look for the curly brace without any tokens. We could try to, if it has an at, we could try to register whether it's got spaces or not. I don't know. I don't know what's going to be the easiest way to do this. This is turning into a pretty big hodgepodge. I mean, we could definitely just write a thing that parses all the square bracket things and tries to be more logical about everything. Like, just does that as a separate pass. But I don't know. I've written enough now at this point. I better just stick to this instead of changing how it works. Wait, why did this have a comment that said open tag? Oh, right, because that went here. Yep. So if it's after the timestamp, and after the timestamp, then there's a comment from a person being replied to. Otherwise, copy it to the output for now. Oops, wrong one. Wrong one. There it is. All right, do we have any empty lines? No, we do not have any empty lines. Do we have some that start with ats? Yes, we do. Okay. Let's go ahead and get rid of the blank line at the beginning. These go per file, not, so these need to be inside the file loop. Int first output equals 1. And then timestamps. Oh, we do the new line. Where's the timestamps? Timestamp is here. If bang at start. And now at start becomes 0. All right. And then we're going to need to do free file. That's the string. And then we're going to fclose G, because I was wrong when I did this here, because this only works for one file. Where's the success? And then we're gonna, there's one other thing I needed to do per file, and I've forgotten what it was already. All right. Let's see. Okay, I think that'll work. And now, well, I don't know what that oh wow was, but it's not directed at me. I just accidentally deleted that. Oh, wow, weird. You guys have seen way more VC6 bugs than I ever have before I started streaming. Those occasional display bugs we've seen. Very weird. Literally never seen that before. Okay, so we still have some things that are to-dos here. I take comment from user being replied to, so we stripped out their name because we didn't have anything to say, right? That was the idea here. We don't need to, on YouTube, say who it was. So let's change that to printf g answer question address chat comment. I could include their name, but it's going to get long. And then after we output it, so here is the chat comment, and we say if chat comment, let's see, quote G. Now, is there only ever going to be one comment per line? Because then I can just do the nuance here. Per timestamp, I mean. I think that is true. So I can get rid of all this at start stuff. Not at start. What was it called? It was called... Oh, yeah, it was at start. And then the final new line I can get rid of if I do it that way. Let's see if that works. Address chat comment. This is pretty neat. How I can say that looks reasonable to me. I don't know why there's that straight quote for 517. Let's take a look at what's on 517. Set mesh workers to 24. Okay, that's, I'm not clearing that or something, right? Yeah, I didn't clear chat comment. Okay, good. Just chat comment 07. Yeah, okay, that looks good. Bring that up again for this. Okay, so what do we need to do? We need to parse out the rich text format, so to speak, which can include curly braces. I don't need to do anything with the video tag at the top, so where do I parse that? I forget. Okay, yeah, there's nothing that goes here. Okay, so now we have to change this to be smarter. So We don't need to do nesting depth anymore, actually, because we're going to explicitly handle the case where we see a square bracket. But as a nested loop. So the way this works is, well, let's keep the code that's here for now. Why is that +1? That's weird. While star p does not equal the end token, then we're going to have if this, then we've hit a nested one. And what do we do with nested ones? I believe with nested ones we call that token parser. There's one kind of nested one. Are there other kinds of nested ones? Yes, there's that. And there was the name one also. Yeah, okay, so we call the token parser token list. Let's parse tag. Okay, so at that point, we actually want ++p. So at that point, it has parsed up to the closing curly brace, including the close curly brace, so that should never appear. And so now if we put c star p comma g ++p, do that instead of this. I think that'll work. What? Oh, it's this. I didn't even recognize it. Yep, that looks like it was pretty much the same. But it's still printing that. It should have removed that. Did I run it? Yep, it didn't remove that. Okay, so, oh, I did that. Token list. Isn't token list up there? Oh, it's nested inside that. Okay, so we failed to parse that. Are we off the end again? No. Oh, we didn't delete the closed curly brace, but I thought that thing did. Doesn't this get rid of the closed curly brace? Yeah, right there. Okay, let's step over it. Oh, we didn't even reach it. That's weird. How did we not even reach it if that's what we just changed? Oh, yeah. Okay. There's also a quote tag. At what level does the quote tag appear? Trees at the corner. Why does that have a space in it? Is that because it came after an elided thing? Yeah, generating trees at the corners. Okay. Okay, this is looking reasonable. We just got to now do that, parse out the thing we just did and parse out the colon stuff and maybe eliminate the tags at the beginning, I think. So let's do that. Let's eliminate the tags at the beginning. Okay, so that's in this stuff. Okay, so this code is dead now. I have not backed up any of this. I should probably do that. I'll just see me right. I can getting it for now. Okay, so if we see an at the beginning, it's only at the beginning. If star p equals at p is what's called is alnum, yeah. Star p plus p, and then while is space. I wanted to strip out the punctuation after it. So while bang is space p, but p is not equal that, because we don't want to accidentally skip that. And p does not equal that, I guess, just to be on the safe side. Plus p. Okay. So yeah, now there's no more nothings to colons. Okay, great. I'll read you two. Yep. I have another one. Okay. Oh, right. That was that one. Okay, right. Hello. Why is my machine gun so slow? 2, 1, 2, 2. Quote. Yeah, see, you didn't put a prefix character in here. That's just like... All right, so that's fine. That's another kind of nested curly brace, and we'll just... Oh, wait. Oh, no, it's not. Yeah, it's not nested. It's a top-level one. Okay. So let's just cut and paste this one into here temporarily and hope I remember to delete it later and see what happens when it runs. Yeah, it's a top-level. It parses it as a top-level thing, so I need to detect that. And it's distinguishable from the annotation being quote the thing because it comes after a thing. I'm guessing. So it's not after a timestamp. So we're not at a new line. We hit this. If bang after timestamp, then if prefix p technically I need to handle white space between those two. Then continue, right? We don't actually do anything at the end of this loop. We skip white. It's still there. So it was not after timestamp? Where do I clear after? Oh. Wait, what did I just... If not after timestamp. Did I... Which one is that? This is the second one that I hit. Should be. Okay, then that one gets included. Maybe I should just drop them entirely. And then we hit the quote. After timestamp is 0. Oh, it's quote equals. All right, fine, we'll just do that. All right. Okay, so this is wrong because it's not addressing a chat comment. But the problem is I've already output all this stuff because I was trying to do this lazy thing without parsing. And you put the quote at the end instead of at the beginning. right? Like if it were this, well, then I wouldn't be able to tell it was a quote. Yeah. Yeah. This is why you don't do synocies like this, but that's fine. It just means that the lazy approach that I'm doing right now isn't really viable. I need to buffer the output and then discard the whole thing. Thinking of allowing it immediately after timestamp though to see if having to manually type out the quote if that's parsable. I'm not sure how that saves you from parsing out, from manually typing out the quote. Or do you, because, so you mean you're thinking of doing it on its own line even or something maybe? That it comes in as a separate, as two separate commands or something maybe? I have no idea how you generate the markup. I don't know what you do. Are you feeding that into a bot in chat as well as the initial ones and merging them or something? So like if you mean that it would be this or something, I would understand why you would want to do that. I don't know that that's what you meant, and it's no easier to deal with. It's harder to deal with actually for the way I'm doing stuff, but it just means I need to do stuff a different way, and the whole design that I've done here is totally wrong. But I don't have to rewrite from scratch. I can hack it. I guess you'd want the timestamp to actually be exactly the same so you'd be able to find the match or something. I mean, the thing is, it's assuming I want to strip this out, which I think I do. I think for the YouTube markup, it's just not going to make sense because, it's not really relevant. So, all right, so the current state is that it is stripping that part out, but it's leaving the original stuff in. So I need that stuff to be deletable. So what's the easiest way I can do this? Because the problem is that I'm using fprintf everywhere, and I now need to go to a buffer instead of using fprintf. It's a bunch of work. So what's the easiest way to do this? Void. So what are the functions called? fputsy and fprintf. So we want to replace that with apputsy. Void printf. Oh, I forget. Is fput the one that doesn't add a new line? I never use fput. Yeah, it's explicit new line. Okay, so. Oh, but I need to add a new line. That's suboptimal. All right. Oh, not that one. That was it. Okay. Is that it? That's really all of them? Huh, okay. Was there some other output that I was doing somewhere? I guess not. Did I have an fput anywhere? Is there some other function? Fput printf. I think that would have been it. Okay. So now what? We need to do those discards and flushes. So when we start a new timestamp, we go ahead and flush a flush, and at the very end we'll a flush. Here, and if it's empty, we don't want to do anything. No, I'll put an empty line. We can still do that, although it does nothing. Okay. What is that called? Is that an STD something? Var arc. Is it that? No. Standard arc. Yeah. No. Oh, it's called the 8 list. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Now, hopefully that would be unchanged. Okay, actually I doubled up my new lines because the existing new line is still in there. So a put C new line. Nope. Okay, so I told you I'd have to totally rewrite that to make this possible, and that's what totally rewriting was. It was not actually a big deal. Okay, so now we want to suppress this entirely, which we have the a flush for now. So if we see a quote, then we a flush. Sorry, not a flush, we a discard. And now that quote should be gone. Yep, and it is. Okay, voila. Now, if you get in a case where I comment on something and it's a quote, that is just going to disappear from the markup. And maybe that's fine. Okay, so now we need to parse out the embedded colons and the embedded these. Okay, so I believe we currently are doing this, and we're doing nothing with those. So now we have to say, what is the first tag? So if token list 0 of 0 is colon, else if token list 0 of 0 is at. Those are the cases I know about. Else if token list 0 equals R for ref. Those are the cases I know about. Else SD fatal, unknown, nested markup token it %s. All right, so that makes sense. All right, so here we got a token, nested token. Do we have nested tokens? I don't actually remember if they were. I don't. Oh yeah, we do, because if they are multi-characters. So in that case, we just want to output the unquoted text. Let's do the quick and dirty version of that. Okay, this if sp or count our len token list does not equal 1, equal token type. Because I'm about to make this assumption, so making that assumption means I better assert. And I don't want to just assert because I want to catch it when a new file comes out and violates that assumption. So, all right. And then, so we just have to token list 0, strip the colons and quotes from it. So, do we have a free variable like j? No, we don't. Quick and dirty way to do that. Who knows if that's sufficient? And then, since that was the only token, that should be okay. It may produce. It should get added spaces around. Okay, so if it starts with @ then it's this thing where it's like John in here. Here we go, that one. So we want to discard the first token, but then include the rest. So it just says in Jonathan Blow. So we go, we need 2 loops. We don't, okay. We loop over the tokens, but we skip the first one. And then we say a print f of token list of j. And then, let's see, space between them. Okay, let's see if that works, those 2 cases. Okay. Line 10, oh, that's not the correct name. Oh, yeah. Line 10, huh? Okay, so that was the first. No, it was not the first one. It does not have any nested things in it. Which has to be fatal is this? How did we get in here if there are no nested curly braces? There's no that at all. Am I sure it was not that line? That's line 10. Okay. So this didn't work. Oh. I see. Run the game and demo an artifact with the trees being generated on a jitter grid. Okay. So does it always have one of those? It does always have one of those. Multi-word tags always have a name for them in these examples. Okay, and in that case, it just is the same as this case. And now we have this. 9:55. Okay, right. That is a thing. So with the trees being generated on a jitter grid, with the trees being generated on a, yeah, so we get an extra space there, and I don't care. Because the YouTube format will suck that up. Okay, address chat comment is too long. Let's get rid of the address. That's not correctly. Wow, did I really start to answer this question? Burp. A single word category text can also be. Yeah, it's as long as they have one thing. All right, so the colon embedded colon is, as far as I know, the only thing I need to parse, although there could be something else I'm missing. There's an extra space after that. I do need to fix that. That's when there's a name at the beginning of it, I believe. So that's plain text, starts with an at. That'll fix that. Oops, I didn't mean that. I meant T. So let's see. Did that? There's no longer any spaces. Nope, here's one. I am running HMH DND. Did I really address that? Okay. Oh, I was probably asking about, yeah, about the chat. Okay. Nothing's to comma space I, and that came out as I. So why did that not get stripped? All right, let's test it. All right, so that's here. Nothing's to comma. All right. So we parse past. Oh, the names can have numbers in them. Oh no, it has on them. All right. Can Twitch names have underscores or other characters in them? Okay, now the comma should get sucked up here. Okay, and then the space. Oh, that's why. Yeah, I do need to know what the legit name of. Yeah, sorry, I keep hiding this because I keep having to look at this. Okay, there. Hopefully I'll remember that. All right, so how long has it been up? Somebody in chat run whatever the magic command is. I guess I can look at, oh, it's 2 hours. I forgot OBBG. OBS has a thing. Wow, 2 hours, taking a lot longer than expected. I was hoping for an hour and a half. But we're very close. So yeah, so is the space gone now? Yes. Have you ever played D&D? I am running. Good. Okay, fix the space. So we just need the colon syntax. And the colon syntax is colon name or colon quote name. Okay, so we're in here parsing the stuff. Oh, we have to do ref as well. I forgot. Right. Currently ref is just getting discarded, and I just want to turn that into the link probably, right? Let's see, what's the ref syntax context? Where's the ref? Oh, this is the wrong one. Ref wing tiles URL. So we want to find the URL tag in here and output that. If prefix token list J of URL equal. I think that was what it was. Yep. One, two. Then we're going to do something and then break. And let's fully nest that. And we're going to be doing an aprintf of something somehow. We need to strip the trailing quote if there is one. So list of j plus 4 because that's this. And then we do skip white that in case there's white space inside. And then if q equals that star q, or star q equals that, then yeah, because this example does not have quotes on it, so I'm just trying to handle the case whether it does or not. Then we have to do that same thing, sort of. Well, we just have to check. Okay, so let's do this the lazy way. Z equals structure of q plus 1. Let's start q. So we find the first appearance of that character later in the thing, and we set that to 0. Super lazy. And then we have to aprintf q, then we advance q, and we aprintf q. And we break. And this is only if it's ref. If it has to be ref exactly, right? Because we've parsed it out, so we're not needing to do prefixes at this point. Okay, let's see if that worked. Nope. Was it not ref? Token list 0. It's ref. 0 equals stricken. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Wing tiles. Burk. Looks good. Okay. So now we just need the embed colons and we're done. Well, the embedded colons, then we run on all the files and see what cases break. So, the embedded colons. So, if that, else, okay. If star p equals colon, and kind of dumb to do it this way, but we are always guaranteed that we have the previous character. Does it have to be? Can it appear at the very beginning? Can it be the first characters? Probably can. After space and p0 equals that. Okay. After space equals its space p. We'll consider after this to be false. unclear what the spec should be. And it's 1 at the beginning. Okay, so if we see a colon, then if p of 1 equals quote, or p of 1 equals, then same old thing. We parse up to that. P does not equal Q. We put C. Else, we go up to the first space. While star P does not equal, well, bang is space P, or star P equal that. That's not or. Or star P equal that, although these always have spaces before them currently. And this does not equal. Wait, which is why it's and. It's not space, and it's not this. That's not that. And it's not 0, but I've never checking for 0 and a file. Then we just copy it. Okay, so that might be all of it. Star P. Yeah, I didn't miss the tilde case. I just forgot to implement it. It was this, right? I don't even remember what it was for, but I do remember you saying it because I had to check because I couldn't read the font, couldn't tell what character it was. All right, so let's see if that worked. Maybe. Whoops, did I close that file? I think I accidentally closed that file. When generating space trees. So you can see that that one didn't work. Okay, that one worked, left an extra space, which I don't care about. That one I didn't work. Run the game, yeah. The one word one is not working. Okay, so where's the one word case again? It's after space. Well, we haven't parsed the space yet, so the parse should handle it next time we come through. Wait, what is this plus plus P for? Oh, that's to close curly brace, right? So why would it miss those? Oh, I'm copying all the characters. That's why. Yay. Okay, I think it's done. I mean, the attempt. I have to actually start testing other things now and try uploading it to YouTube and see how it looks and stuff like that. So, oh, right. It was for the tilde notation was for handmade projects. Auto links for handmade projects. So if I go to YouTube, this was 6.1. In fact, actually, the link is in the email. That's probably the fastest way to find it. All right, so here's the stream we're annotating. And somewhere in here I can edit. Can't I just directly, oh, it has to be non-empty to do it, to edit it? Or something. Where's the... Okay, here's that one. So let's just try putting it in. Save changes. Go back to the video. Did I not save it? What? Did I place it in the wrong place? Where is it? Why is it not here? What? Like, am I on the wrong page? No, I'm on the watch page. It's like not showing that part of the thing. Unless I just pasted it in the wrong spot. Let me check what chat is saying. It said it's too long. Oh. I didn't even look. Oh, see, it didn't. Usually pages that do this stuff put it on the save changes or put it somewhere up at the top. Description is too long. Okay, well, let's find out what the description length is. YouTube description length. Fuck you. No, I don't. A 1,000 characters? Is that plausible? Let's check how long these are. $5,000 characters. That's a lot longer. That's going to be sad if this is just not even usable. Let's see. All right, well, let's just try shortening it to different lengths and see when it accepts it. Since I don't trust any of these things. It accepted that one. How long was that one? 2,800. All right. All changes saved. Is it going to be 5,000? Is that going to be the limit? All changes saved. How long is this? $5,048. $5,000. All changes saved. Too long. Okay, so 5,000 is the limit. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this. So let's put the dot in there as well. Empty. Short and no chat. We'll see if those are enough to cover all the cases. So, if what was it called? Short if mode M. So if mode is 1, then chat. Else if mode is 0, we do the verbose one. And we don't put anything if mode is 2. And then where does the chat actually happen here? If chat comment. So if chat comment and mode is greater than 0, less than 2 rather. Yes, these should be an enum, but this is a super hack that I don't even know if it's going to work. So, and then this is where the chat actually happens. So where are all the prints? If so, let's make a boolean for this. Int show equals not chat comment or mode is less than 2. Then we do show things. So then we just want to find or we can use a discard actually. That's the smarter way to do this. If chat comment. If mode is less than 2, then a put c, else a discard. Okay, so now we won't get any chat messages. I didn't nest this enough. Yeah, that gets here. New line constant. Quote, wait, slash quote, quote. There we go. I expected into file, so I did a bad curly brace somewhere in here. Chat comment. Chat comment. The switch statement looks balanced. The while loop is balanced. Oh, right. I double nested these. Yeah. I didn't want to fix my indentation, so I just left that broken. Okay, so now when we run, we should get 3 files output of 3 different sizes. And we can pick whichever one is under 5K, and then we can automate picking whichever one is under 5K. And you can see if I just leave out all the chat things, it's a lot smaller. So now let's try running this on everything. Sean purge quick debug quick. Okay, why did that not actually? It printed this and didn't exit. Oh. Why does STB fatal crash instead of exiting? It's weird. Okay, so if we do, oh, this stuff won't work, will it? No, it does. Okay. So let's do it in here. Oops, wrong one. 021 line 26. All right, so let's take a look at what's in 021 line 26. O21 26. Oh, you do have backslash escapes for those. Okay. All right, that's fine. Else if 0 equals backslash, then plus p, a put c, star p plus plus. This might be nested at the wrong tab. Where is this supposed to be? Let's do it here. Okay. Okay, so we died again. We do 55, all right. 5. Oh, I didn't, you sent me these replacements and I didn't do them. Let me dig those up. Mail. Okay. Now the name has an extra 1 appended on the end because of the way my mailer works. Sean Purge Games OBBG annotations 1. Yes, replace. Yes, replace. All right. Let's try again. Same one, same spot. Did it not? It overwrote it. Yeah, I don't need that anymore. Oh, I do need that anymore. Because I want to copy out the annotation by at the end. And then, so I need this back. Why it's, oh, it does have the quotes. It's just parse error. Okay. I didn't pick a tag at start of line 55. Okay, so I just have some bug. But it handled the other one? What? What was the difference between these two? Oh, this is the wrong file. This one is still on the same line, and this one's on at the beginning of a line. So I don't want that to even look at the line check. So this is if you see an open tag, add a new line. I just don't want to consider that an error. But here I have parsed it, so I need to break. But here I have not parsed it. Okay. Here we go. All right, now where? At line 40, it doesn't tell me what file it is. Failed to parse token. Failed to parse token. All right, this is some top level parse fail. Let's see what it is. 04.1. All right, and it's line 40. Seems legit. I'm probably failing to parse the double curly bracket properly, square bracket. I'm probably like skipping past one or doing something dumb. 5607. What's 5607? Oh, right. So I just want to cut and paste this to the beginning. So it triggers right away. Line 6. Okay, good. So that's a ref tag. So let's see if we get to the ref tag. No, we don't. All right, because it's not at the start of the line, and I was checking for it being start of the line, maybe? No, this is nested. Okay, so here, let's see if Meblo is still here. So Meblo, here we have a case where this tag means it's a tag. It's got the square brace colon. But it's a tag because it comes after a pre-existing thing. Whereas here, you hit the curly brace colon, which in my code, I'm saying that is the syntax that means this is a tag. This is such a terrible naming because HTML calls these whole things tags. So we need a name for what one of these is. Call it a node because that's like when you build an HTML tree, it becomes a node. So for the sake of just having a term, it's a node. So, this is a text node and this is a tag node. And the text node can have an embedded tag like this. And so here you have an embedded tag that comes at the beginning of the thing, but that makes it look like the syntax of these things. The way I'm trying to parse it. So like, is there a sane way of thinking about this? Or is it just strictly, if you see this immediately after a timestamp, then it must be an embedded tag. And if you see it, why does this have a colon there as well? Oh, it's multiple tags. I see. Yeah. Right. So that's actually, yeah. So my assumption was that the way I tell that these are text things is because they don't start with a colon. But it looks like the rule is if it starts with an @ then it's a quote, not a quote, a chat, pulled from the chat. And the next item is the next node is the text node. If it doesn't start with an @ then it's a text node, even if it starts with a colon. Seems like the rule. Or do you think you should change the syntax a little bit? Okay, categories instead of tags. That's a good thing. Category node contains only categories, but a text node can contain both. But the problem is you don't know that this is a how do you know that that's a category node and that's a text node? Do you have to parse the whole thing? Do you rely on the fact that if it's immediately after a timestamp, it must be a text node? And unless it's one of these, and it's only a category node if there was already a text node, basically. Is that the rule? So I do have something for that, right? I have an after timestamp, so I need an after text, I think, to make this work. And if we see a colon and it's after text, then it's a tag node. And then this one is the text. I think you would have to parse the whole thing. So you could have a category node on a line by itself. That's the question. I mean, with a timestamp. All right, so the chat feedback is that, yes, if it comes immediately after the timestamp, which I guess I can use after timestamp rather than doing it the other way. If somebody else wants to answer fatalities questions, since I'm deep in this, and you all know what I'm doing. Okay, yeah, I think that's it, and I can just use after timestamp because it's no wait, or can I? When do I reset after timestamp? That's the question. Do I reset it when I? Do I reset it when I get a new line, or do I reset it? I reset it when I get a new timestamp, yes. Oh, I reset it when I get a... I reset it when I get... Oh, yes, so after timestamp doesn't work. It's after text. I do need after text, okay. Because it's not, if it immediately occurs after timestamp, it can be... Okay, I think that's all fine. So after text, we have to, when we hit the text case, we set after text, which I already did, right? Yep, after text. And then when we hit the category case, which is this, it has to be... Now, why did it have to be not after timestamp? Wait, that was already supposed to handle this case. That's what the not after timestamp was supposed to be. But I think it's actually better to do that. Whoops, after text, not after category. I think it's actually better to do it after text. And we only reset after text when we get a timestamp. Where do we do timestamps? Here. I was answering this in chat, but let me actually answer it in here. Just so for future reference, for people making file formats, to make this kind of parser easy, the easiest way is that you can always read everything out with the lexical analyzer. So, for example, if you're going to allow saying send in the clowns, and clowns can become a tag, what they're calling a category, and you do that. If that's going to be your notation, so this is a text node. Then when you want a category node, so the idea here is that, you know, this is about the circus, but you're not mentioning the circus anywhere. So that's the syntax in this thing. The way to do this is lexically ambiguous. And that's okay, you could allow that. But the easiest way to do things is make this not lexically ambiguous. Introduce a new different character for that. Now, one of the things is that he's trying to use this without any prefix, right? The easiest way to do all this stuff is, you know, you do that and it's a text node, and you do that and it's a category node. But that's pretty verbose. So so one way to do that, you know, is, okay, you use a different token at this level, right? That and the thing is, like, he's going for the symmetry here, right? Which is understandable, but it makes it easier to parse if you did something like this. Okay, so that's doing it lexically. The next way to do it is to make it left-right unambiguous. Because what he's proposing is that he would like it to actually be able to be, you know, timestamp, and then you can do. Let's just cut the whole thing. So here's the current. All the current examples that I have are this, and so the point being that if you have this, there's an ambiguity. Okay, so syntactically, not syntactically, parsing wise, like if you were parsing into into tokens, if these were abstract tokens, it's all fine. Like you could do something like, the question then becomes, is what is this? Actually, let's do this. Since this covers that, it's the same things. The question becomes, is this a category node or a text node? Because the idea is that this prints send in the clowns and doesn't print circus. So the question is, should this print circus clowns or should it print nothing? Which was what you meant. So the better thing to do is, if you did it with this kind of thing, then you can disambiguate this very explicitly. It's that if you meant categories, and it's that if you meant text, if you were doing it this way. You can also, instead of having this, you can just have a rule, like one has to appear to the left of the other. Like you never, if you want an empty text, you would do that. This is unambiguous and easy to parse left to right still. But as soon as you say, I'm allowed to do this, then it requires you to fully parse the line to understand what's going on. Because when you see this, you can't figure this out until you've looked ahead all the way to here. And in terms of like Yak style look ahead, it's only one token of look ahead, because you're in one token in some sense, because you parse this and have to look at this to decide what this was, or not this. If it were this one, if you had this, you don't know whether this is text or category until you find this. And if you allowed either order, right, then you could have this, and you would have to actually fully parse both of them before you could decide what this is. So fully parsing both of them is, in terms of the Yak style parsing, this or this would be a single token, and so you actually are looking at a lot of look ahead to be able to resolve what that is. You know, when you're just doing when you're just throwing that stuff in a pot, like it's like, oh, I'm processing by lines. If the whole thing were strictly by lines, then it would be a little more straightforward, because you would just say, grab all the stuff in the lines and resolve what all of it is. And you would just, you know, parse what each thing was. But as soon as you start bringing in the multi-line stuff, you like kind of step away from that line style processing and have to start introducing more sophisticated parsing techniques to parse them. So you're better off with something like that. It's not, I'm not saying he needs to change it. It's totally fine if we introduce the rule that it must be this order, can never be this order. Then the left to right parse is still straightforward. And that's what we're talking about in the chat, is that he will make that be the rule. But it was not intended to be that way. Okay, so if I do that, then I can have this after text flag that tells me whether I've seen text or not, and I already coded all of it, I think. So let's see if that works. Was I still running the full wildcarded one? Did I just do all of them? I think I just did all of them. Okay, it got through all of them without any errors. Now, that doesn't mean it was correct. Let's do automation now of the lengths that I was talking about. So what we'll do is we close G, and then we want to check how big G is. If SCB file size. I don't remember what. I have some function to do this. I do this, I can't use ns3sprintf anywhere else in this file because this is I'm going to keep it around for the whole till the end of this loop. So I can't use it anywhere else in this loop. I mean, I guess before I close it, I can check. I can seek. I can do an ftell, can I? So if I do that, then maybe maybe this works. So now it should only have multiples for the ones that were too long, like that one. 6.1 is too long. Wasn't 2.1 too long? Wasn't that the one that we? Oh no, it was. I picked the longest one randomly, right? To have the most data, and that's the only one that went long. Okay, that's less worrisome now. I don't need to start splitting my videos more frequently to do that. And then what I want to do is actually just have them all use the same name after all. And it will just overwrite them with the shorter ones, and we'll maybe tag. Can I put a comment in this? Probably not. YouTube will. It's the YouTube descriptions do not have a comment. So, so we'll just print something to the screen here. Print of, let's do it here actually. Oops. All right, so this will go too fast for us to see, but yeah, I printed one thing, so. Yep, there you go. Okay, so that's what we got. Now we just have to go through and look at them and make sure they all look reasonable. And the way I'm going to do that is by uploading them to YouTube, so I can check YouTube's parsing of them as well. So you now get to watch me go through my YouTube archive. So how's the easiest way to do this? Is it going to show any secret data like Twitch stream info? I don't know. I think not. I think only if I went to the right place for it. So I think it's fine. Do I have any secret videos? I don't think so. So I can just do this. I hope I'm not wrong. So I want my playlists, I guess. Where do I go to find my playlists? Playlists. Let me close a bunch of files. I have a whole bunch of files open on my desktop. those if we need them. Yeah, the subtitles, the chat comments might be useful to have come up as annotations. I'm not sure much else would. Okay, so here we go. So 0 I should already have done. That was the original one that Meeblo did the... Yep, okay. Oh, right, and I wanted to add that still. So let's get it right just in case it's this is the final run, so I don't have to go back through and do them all again. The end. Is that in the annotation thing, or is that something you added yourself? Oh, here's the thing. I'm only going to add it if it doesn't go over the length limit. Oh. Because obviously it will still work for the vast majority of them, and I'm sure you don't care if it gets lost from a couple because of this. It's going to be new line annotated by Meeblo, no new line at the end. Don't know how it exactly it handles that. If it turns out that it's off by 1, I can fix it some other day. So f.f g. Oh, f.s, right. Okay. Now, of course, this does prevent anyone else from using this program if it's wasn't done by you. If somebody else starts using this thing and then wants to use this program, it really wants to be in the file. But hey, we can add that to the video tag or something, or add a new tag, and I'll change my thing to obey that if we ever add that. Okay, so oh, it still didn't shorten any others. The 0601.html went from 859. Wait, 061 is the one that got shortened. Okay, like 07 went from 243 to 297. Yeah, okay, so should be right. Okay, so that was 0. Then we go to 1. Wait, do we not have annotations for 1? Did I not export them? I don't have them in my directory. Did my search for annotations not find it? Did I file it in the wrong place? Or was episode 1 a weird episode? No, I don't seem... It's not... At least it doesn't have the... Unless you did them out of order. No. Let's see what people are saying in chat. Okay, so I'll just skip it for now until Meeblo tells me whether I'm missing some or not. And yeah, this is going to have the place, so I don't need that tab. So we could jump up to 2. 2.1, here we go. There we go. This is letting me edit it. I don't know why I couldn't edit it the other time. Oh, now I'm going to lose this if it's too big, which is fine. I can do that. I'll just do it by hand. So the 2.1, whoops, wrong file. So if it's too big, I'll just delete it. Brackets aren't allowed in your description. Okay, so I can't do chat comments that way. Oh. So where did I... Here they are. That's not going to save as much, maybe. So I'm not even sure if that's worth it, but all right, whatever. Oh, wait. This is still leaking out. I broke something. Okay. Which is going to bring it back under 5,000 now, actually. Oh, and I should delete double spaces to bring it under 5,000 too. So the ref, did that get deleted in the source, or did that? No, something in my code totally mishandled the ref. Oh, it's not. Okay, so here's another question then. Bring me low. So here you have this guy saying something in chat, and it's a ref. But everywhere else, these refs appear nested one deep. They're always, you know, hey there, ref, blah, 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 like that. So do you... so, you know, HTML has this idea that you have these things which have this syntax within them, and then you have in between those things which has a different syntax, right? The stuff in these dots has a different syntax than the stuff up here. And I was assuming that this thing was sort of a similar thing. And so, for example, you know, your colon markup in a text node. Basically, I've been treating your text nodes as being the equivalent of this because your text nodes can have this markup. And so they have a special different thing. And in the examples I looked at, the refs only have ever appeared inside a text node. But here you have a bare text node, a bare reference without a text node. And that just, it complicates the parsing if you actually want to have that. So the question is, do you actually want that? Is that necessary? Or does it make more sense to just put it inside a text node explicitly? Oh, yeah, here's one of those. And again, it's like, it's more consistent to always do it inside this, but maybe less convenient when you're doing this markup by hand is the thing. I think Meeblo is no longer paying attention though. So, well, I can support that if he really wants to support it. I'm just going to change it though, so it doesn't have that for now. Oh, here he is. Yeah, the idea is he was just saying it, which is, that was my interpretation. It definitely would simplify it if we can just have it be, always be. Thing. Okay, where's the file? Yeah, and now it didn't have to shrink it. Yeah, it still has the full chat comment now. But it left the new line in. Okay, I need to strip the new lines. How did it get a new line in? That was inside the ref. Did I comment on this? Is this quote actually something that I talk about in the text? I mean, I talk about in the video? That seems odd. I guess I can just look. Is this going to feedback? I don't know. Remember how is this quote act? Okay, right. I already had it muted because of that. Right, so if I mute that, okay, good. $145.38. Oh, okay, yeah. Yep, okay, that is it. All right. Perfectly fine then. Just wanted to make sure I wasn't misunderstanding this. Okay. All right, so yeah, we're gonna assume the curly braces work, and then this is misparsing because it's generating the new line. Okay, and that's just because this thing doesn't strip new lines. So we're inside the square bracket. We're parsing. We find different token types. Where does it actually copy the current character out? I don't actually understand this. We found a curly brace. Okay. Text node. Where's the category node? All right, so we're in a text node. Somewhere in here, we actually do characters. Okay, here we go. We handle the / escape. We handle that. Handle that. Boom. Okay, here's where we handle regular characters. If star p equals new line or star p equals / let's see. Boom. Then we want to get rid of double spaces because they're eating up characters in a limited character space. So we'll do that in a putc. Last char equals 0. And when we discard, last char equals 0. And when we flush, last char equals 0. And then last char equals C. And then we say if space C and we only want, let's not even handle tabs. Yeah, let's just not even have tabs. I'm lazy. And last char equals space and nothing else. Okay, just want to negate that. Okay, hopefully that gets rid of the double characters. Whoops. One of those two was incorrect. Not. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's the other thing that I changed that I got wrong. Oh, this one's easy to check because I'm right there. Okay, yeah. So it's not that. Oh, that gets rid of the double space between these. Oh, which is good. We don't really need that double space anyway because that was eating up characters. Good move. So what did I change? I changed something here. Let's have that. Okay. That might be better. All right. So back to YouTube. Why will not? Any other complaints? Brackets aren't allowed in my description. Is that a new update or is that the... Let's reload the page. Oops. Brackets aren't allowed. Okay, so I still have brackets somewhere in here. Oh. Yes, the ones I explicitly escaped. Yay. That should that space shouldn't be there. Whatever. Yeah, so we explicitly escape if it's a bracket. 0 equals, let's see. All right. Is this going to finally work? What are we on, 3 hours now? Yep. Nope, I hit a bug. Why? Oh, I didn't skip P. That's why. Okay. Try again. Is it reprinting that again or not? Can't tell. No square brackets. Are curly brackets not allowed? Is it playing the audio, you guys? I can mute that if it is. I think it's not. I think I have my non-mic audio off. I don't know. What brackets does it mean at this point? I don't have any brackets in here. Dudes, what brackets do you mean? Square? Oh, don't tell me they mean angle brackets. All right, let's change how this works. Because if any character that's just not valid, I should just filter at a putz level. If C equals that, C equals that, but maybe that's not legal either. C equals that, C equals that, C equals that. All right, so let's just suppress them all three of those cases. Whoops. Did I break that? Line 26. I broke the backslashes. I forgot. I did want the first one. Yep, okay. I think that's still telling me brackets aren't allowed, but I don't know what brackets I have anymore. Oh, it still has that in it. Didn't I filter that? I filtered that. How can that be in that file anymore? Did I not rerun it? Maybe I didn't rerun it. Yep, okay. I didn't rerun it. Yay, okay. All right, so it won't allow angle brackets. I don't know whether it allows the other kind of brackets yet. I have to re-enable them now, which is why I did it this way. So now we'll turn everything into curly brackets. So this is everything curly brackets now? I don't see any. Where are the brackets? What happened to the brackets? Oh, there they are. Maybe let's see if anyone has figured this out. Nope, nobody investigated. Okay. How do I edit this? Oh, no. Oh, I didn't want to go to a separate screen. All changes saved, no complaints. Okay, so now let's turn back on the square brackets. Maybe it's only the angle brackets. Don't tell me it's like one of those dumb, we don't know how to escape HTML. Is it that simple? Or maybe they just don't want you to think you can put HTML in and get confused. All changes saved. So apparently, no, I don't want to go back to the video manager. I wanted to go back to the playlist page that had the video. There we go. Okay. All right, so looking over this, does this seem reasonable? Yeah, it looks very good. It has that extra space I should fix. So for links, it's visible text URL. Oh, right. This was explaining the syntax of Markdown. Okay. Okay, looks good. Yep. All right, let's move on to the next one. Where's that file? That's 2. So do I just, if I just click it, that's what I have to do. Okay. The pound include is getting turned into that turns into a search if you put a pound. Oh, because it thinks it's a tag. Okay, so I have to turn pounds into something else. What do I turn a pound into? Maybe I can escape them? I bet they don't. There's no way they escape them, right? There's no way they have some kind of escape syntax for this. No. Oh, why does that sometimes do that and sometimes not? I don't understand at all. The way it's highlighting the edit thing makes me think it's not going to let me edit it in place, no matter what I do here. No, it went to the edit in place for a moment, and then it clicked through. Ugh. And then I have to go back. Nope. Unsurprisingly, does not support backslash escapes. Okay. So what can I do with the pound symbol? People are proposing a Unicode character. I don't know how that's going to survive cutting and pasting the way I am currently, though. Um, oh, the sharp, yeah. Yeah, the problem is that I'm just opening this in a text editor. I don't think it's going to survive. It's not going to. It's not UTF-16 mode and blah blah blah. Well, if I just say include, it works. I think if I just omit the pound, it works. Define instead of pound define. I think it works. So let's just do that. Yeah, I could add a space, but since they're currently only ever being used in this C syntax way, this will work. If there were some other case where it was being used, then yeah, a space after it would probably be the right thing to do. Certainly that works in Twitter. I don't know for sure that it works here, but so dumb. All right. Go back and take a look at it. So yeah, and you guys can feel free to look through these, double check them, see if they look reasonable, because I'm just updating them online. So I'm just kind of skimming them, making sure I don't see anything weird looking. But there could easily be garbage going on here. I'm just kind of okay. I left in the @ in that one. That would be good to know why I did that. That was 2. Right, because it didn't have, it wasn't in square brackets. So should I delete the @ I think I should delete the @ because it's the name on a different site. So I should delete the @ in that case. So while we're just parsing regular characters, which is here, else if after space and p0 equals @ and in fact, I probably ought to strip out like email addresses if somebody somehow put an email address in one of these annotations. But and is alpha alnum of piece 1. Then after space equals 0, and skip printing the character. I presume that link is a link to that full playlist, so that I'm looking at. All right, so that. So now when we look for Bartley, oh, I'm in the wrong file. Oops. Yep, okay, good. So let's do that. How? That's so weird. Oh, you can use less than upgrade then. Excellent. Thank you. I will do so. That's funny because they don't allow the angle brackets, but they require that substitution. So it's crazy. Okay, so we'll just recurse. It's kind of dumb, but we can't use aprintf. All right. Which file was that had that? Was this the file or was that the previous file? Why are you writing a parser by hand instead of piggybacking on something existing where you could just write a BNF and be done? Because I couldn't be sure that the way to parse this was going to be parsable by anything else. And because in C, the libraries that you have available to you are usually kind of limited. People do not have the same level of libraries for stuff that other people have. If I were writing a C parser, I would have used my C parser library. But the syntax here doesn't super lend itself to regular expressions. And learning to use a tool like that, I'm at 3 hours right now, so I doubt I would have been able in 3 hours to figure out a tool that would match the syntax. Some of that time was just spent determining what the syntax was, etc. Hand-coded parsers in C for this kind of thing have a long tradition. This particular syntax is not very well geared to it. And when you have experience at writing these kind of parsers, you tend to design syntaxes that are very easy to parse with these parsers. I've certainly written things where all I have to do is use fscanf, just repeated chains of fscanf for everything I need to do, if what I care about is making it really easy to write the parser. So nobody remembers whether I needed the angle brackets for the previous file or not. I think it was the previous file, though, that did need it. I don't see them in this one, so yeah, it must have been. So let's go back to this one. Yep, there's the GT semicolon. So let's try it. We'll go back to 1. It. Okay, yep, that works. And then let's look through here and see that it actually shows up somewhere. Where was that? Use website on GCP arrow block. Okay, good. So we go on to number 2 again. Oh, I'm no longer on a page that shows the playlist. It might still be that the ampersand pound sequence would work. It would know it's not a tag. Okay, so it accepted that. So we go back. Look over it again. Still looks all reasonable. Return. Oh, yeah, I walk away. Okay. The return is a C token, so or C keyword, so made me suspicious that that was some kind of bug, but Okay, I guess this was a quick file. 10 minutes. Oh, wait, 3. Where's number 3? It's number 3. Oh, wait, that's not the playlist. Here's the playlist. Oh, that's nice. Like when it don't start right away, so you get the thing for when it actually starts. I should probably put that. I should put in as an annotation in the video of skip to the beginning. If that were part of the annotation in an actual syntax, that might be useful. Like with a special tag or something, that might be useful because then I could more automate that. I'm not saying fix the old ones. I'm just saying like as a thing to think about going forward. If it's not already, maybe there's already something in there and I'm ignoring it. All right, so let's see. Each chunk job gets a pointer to the mesh job to be pushed on the network. Chunk that depends on becomes 0. I was just noticing that wraparound and wanted to see how long it was. Okay. What was the one where I did the GitHub push on chat and it had my password in it? Did that come up in the annotations? Which I fixed. I changed the password, obviously, to avoid the problem there, but just amusing. I assume it was near the beginning. Maybe it's just if it's long, it automatically... Oh, this is the one where I experimentally put that up here. Maybe let's get rid of that. Wait, was that that was a ref? Oh, it had no URL though. Okay. So the question is, should I copy something out of this ref if it's got no URL? Right, this ref, oh, here's another one of these. Did that turn into garbage when I pasted it? Am I looking at the same thing? 4, 1, what happened to the... This is another one that's not doubly nested is what I meant. It seems to have just gotten discarded. 2702. Oh, no, okay. The new lines got deleted, but okay. So I just need to remember to double bracket these myself. Oh, comment on chat, but it's my own chat. That, I don't want it to say it's a comment on chat. I'll just leave it. Okay. Gotta rerun that. Okay. So now yep. Basketball the Opera link. Why does this have a quote? Oh, it's from a chat comment. Looks good. Looking good here. Check chat. Make sure anybody's wouldn't copy out anything that out of the ISBN ref. I haven't annotated that one yet. Oh, okay. I would have thought it would have been earlier. I'm live on Twitch. That's true. I am. I didn't realize they just automated that. I assumed that you had to like tell it. Is this the right one? Did I just copy 422? I hope so. Okay, it might be the case that I need to treat specially any chat comment that's from me, because since I'm throwing away the authorship info. Oh, that's 422. So let's check. Are any of those mine? No, they're not. Okay. It might be the case that if it's a chat comment from me, which means you need to like pass that info into the generator to know who the person is. If it's a chat comment from me, I should have it say my chat comment or something like that, probably. Okay, so that was 422. I'll let a random person in chat decide to look at it or not and notice anything. If anything's wrong, somebody eventually will notice it and complain, and I can update it. So that was 4.2, so it's now time for 5. We at 3:30. Yep, 3 hours and 30 minutes. Here's a chat, a comment on YouTube, but I can't reply to comments on YouTube. My account is in a weird mid state because when they integrated Google Plus, I never did the Google Plus switchover. I just left the account, and every time it would prompt me to create a Google Plus account, I would just hit escape to get by the prompt. And as a result, I can thumbs up, thumbs down videos, but I think I can't thumbs up, thumbs down comments, and I can't write comments. So that's why I never reply to any YouTube comments, because YouTube won't let me. And I don't want to create a Google Plus account because they've now backed off from the Google Plus thing. And some people who had Google Plus accounts, who had never Google Plus, their stuff does work correctly, but mine doesn't. And so I'm hoping maybe someday it just fixes itself. The odds of ever getting a support person to actually help me fix it seems pretty low. So wrap here. That seems like a wrap up, maybe. That looks fine. We no longer need those. I just never deleted it. This should be the short one. And this will be one that I do need to... it will be too long if I leave the top thing in. Oh, right, I already updated this one. Well, let me do it again and add the thing at the top that I don't keep by default, which is, you know, watch live on Twitch TV, nothing's due. Yes? Okay. I guess either one works, right? And that one's one character shorter. Description is too long. So now, which would I rather keep? The Twitch or the annotate by Meeblo? Sorry, Meeblo. Okay. Tiles. Chat comments. Okay. 2. Do joint equal quads? I guess that's a yes. Do I use Octree? No. Yeah, this one is maybe, I guess if I comment on it, I comment on it. So I guess that's fine. It's just I mean, I can guess who it was too, despite the fact that I leave out the names. All right. Okay, that looks good. And then why do I only have 8.2? Oh, right, because 8.1 was just fixing the computer or something. I should add a comment that says that, though, right? Don't see anything obviously wrong. And then 81. Their comments awaiting approval. Well, since it hid them from you guys, I'm going to review them while you're not looking, just in case they're just full of obscenity or something. I actually really love this video. I'm starting up a game dev blog. Here's the link. Okay, yeah, I think we'll let that be considered spam. I'm comfortable with that. It sounded pretty suspiciously like it had nothing personalized to the thing. So we go back. And so, oh, right, I did that up there. So we'll add that same comment down here. Oh, it was showing some other text in there. That when I can see this box in the main video for a moment expand, but it's actually showing some stale data. So it probably is just a browser YouTube bug. Did I say sorry, Meeblo? I don't even remember it. It's amazing how that works. The mind, the memory. Okay, so that was all of them. Hooray. So if you guys see any bugs, let me know, and we can work on that some more. But for now, I'm going to consider it done, and I'm going to check it in. So how do we do that? Well, let's go here. And let's, in this directory, let's copy Sean Purge quick.c and call it, what did I call it? It was HMML to YouTube.c. And then let's CL HMML to YouTube.c. Oh, yeah, I don't think I have this on my path, do I? Oh, I do. Oh, I don't. Why is that? Isn't it called CL? Isn't that the... Damn it. Visual Studio. Colin MS Dev 98 bin. Program files, Microsoft Visual Studio. Oh, maybe it's like a stale one from an old install. Okay. Apparently it is. Let me poke around. Did I put it in my apps directory? I don't think so. Oh, right there. Here's the way to find it. Where's the... There it is. Properties. It is an app. Okay. Oops. So where was that? There. That was app. And then what? MSVC6. Because I hate those stupid long paths. So does that mean there's a VC vars in there? Nope, okay. MSVC6. Is there a VC vars in that directory? No. Goddamn. I haven't tried to use the VC vars stuff in a while. Where would the VC vars for that have ended up? Oh, you jerks. have something like that. VC6, is like this. VC98. What did I say? Oh, VC6, yeah. Okay, now maybe the CL will work. Okay, good. So that needs like an include. How do you do include directories? Is it I? Oh, and then the SCBI has those dependencies on the registry stuff. I don't remember. What do you have to link against to get that? Anybody know? All this ancient history. Let's see. Maybe API, really? And that's what -L? I don't know what it is in CL. Oh, it's /link. Maybe just add a link in the name. Yep, okay. So now we have an executable. So let's delete all the TXTs and then do HTML to YouTube. And this won't work because of the wildcards. So we have to do, we link, what is it called? setargv.obj? Yeah. Which is a special executable that reprocesses your command line and expands any wildcards in it. Now, we can do a star.txt. Yep, we got them all back. Okay, so I think that's good. That's just the minimal test so that I can do this. So now we do git add star.html, star.c. Why is it going to replace line feed with carriage return line feed? Oh, because I have stuff set to carriage return line feed because it's Windows. Okay, whatever. Git commit -a, well, git status. Okay, I have all these new files. I have all the text files. I have some other garbage. Yeah, great. So we delete the text files. Status. So I assume, Mabel, you're okay with me checking those into the repository. They don't need to be. It's just like I need to put them somewhere, so might as well. I can put them anywhere. I can put them outside the Git tree. I just don't have an OBBG folder outside of the Git hierarchy. So the easiest thing to do is just check them in and not care. I mean, they don't, they're useless without the videos, and the videos aren't in the Git or something. So it's not really a useful thing for them to be there. But, you know, they're sample files for that executable. So, so yeah, git commit. Converts annotations from HTML to YouTube descriptions. Voila. And we'll push that. Okay. All right, and then do you want me to send you that one that you said you were going to skip, that I fixed myself, or does it not matter? So we got that done. In today's stream, 32. And then let me show you the bug that I found. That is the second task. Do a little in parallel. So the bug is, of course, the wonderful, easy to generate, move around for a while, and it triggers. There we go. So I don't know how that didn't manage to trigger when I was doing that work before, but so there's some kind of, I don't know if it's a threading bug or what, but I debugged it a little bit because I'm trying to not do OBBG bugging off stream because the debugging is valuable, but I had forked OBBG to do the new voxel stuff that you may have seen on my Twitter, and I merged in the current stuff and hit this bug and thought it was a bug in my merge, and so it spent some time debugging it, and eventually I didn't make any progress on it, but I was able to see like what the trigger case was, and eventually decided to go back to OBBG and see if it was happening in OBBG, and sure enough it was. So I stopped attempting to debug it until I could do it on stream. I might have fixed this bug in the Linux port. I had to add a memset. Okay, that would be super amazing. Make this bug go really quick if that were the case. Excuse me while I eat a little bit. It was 01. That was the one I was testing. I think. No, it was... because this one was already bracketed, so it must have been a different one. I don't know. I don't remember which one it was. Or was it a different thing that I fixed? Okay, here's... which file is this? Meshboware. Yeah, I'm sorry I haven't pulled any. Oh, nope, I still hit the exact same one, it looks like. I unfortunately was holding down space at the time it happened. Problem is that I tend to look down while doing it. But, yep, okay, it's still happening. Yep. So that is my next task. I think I'm going to take a break though first. It is a quoting in 6.1 and also the procedural generation tag. Yeah, the procedural generation tag I remember, but what was the quoting? Oh, it was quoting. With adding the quoting, it wasn't the double bracket. So yeah, other thing I changed was that the ones that were bare refs that weren't inside a text node, I promoted them into a text node. So I could just send you all of them and you could diff them, or you could check them out or just look at them on GitHub. or we can try to remember which ones it was. I could grep for double bracket. That probably would be easy. Although that might be a syntax. I may have to, yeah. No, none of those were it. Did they go into separate lines? Yeah, it might be the 2-1 thing here and the 4-1 even. I love all file types. Doesn't actually show you all file types. So yeah, this was one of them. But that might have been what you fixed there. I fixed it here. Okay, I don't know if you're talking about this or the other thing. That's fine. Thought that meant that GL delete buffer arbs was getting. Yeah, I'm sure it's a bug. So yeah, you can just get them off GitHub. I assume that's what you were saying. Yeah, that's true about it. So I'm sure this is a bug that needed fixing. It's just not the bug that I need to fix. All right, so I think I'm going to take a break, though, before I start. So I'm going to split the video, and we'll come back in probably 15 minutes or half an hour. I'll tweet an update so you can watch for that, or you can just leave Twitch open or whatever. So yeah, see you in a bit.